Hi, friends, and welcome to Talking with Famous People. My name's host Eric, and I wanted you to know that's really something. It's more than nothing, a lot more. It's really something, and that's what I plan to show you tonight here on Talking with Famous People. I'm going to talk about things that are really something. Make you stand up and shout, "Now that's really something!" in the following fashion. In the preceding fashion, I guess I should say. I wasn't necessarily anticipating doing any live streaming tonight, but I took a nap, and I still feel like I have a little bit of energy left before I go back to bed. I got a lot of stuff done today. Rachel and I both got like task stuff done that we need to get done, which is, well, it's more of a relief than it is gratifying, because it's shit that I've been, stressing out about for weeks before I get around to it. Unnecessarily. For no particularly good reason except that I'm an idiot. Oh, that's right. It's Slot SE. I forgot I have an excuse. Not that that does me any good. Excuses are like smishmuses. Everybody's got one. I believe that's how the old saying goes. I like to live my life in accordance with a succession of old sayings. The older the saying, the truer the words. That's what I always say. That's the old saying. That's what the old saying always says. You know that old saying, the older the saying, the truer the words. Yep. Ask a simple question, get a simple answer. Even if you ask a complicated question, still, you'll get a simple answer from me. Because I'm a person who believes that even the most complicated of questions has a very simple answer. Very, very simple. Like 6 or blue. Answer like that, What's the meaning of life? Blue. Oh, I didn't know it was so easy. It was a lot easier than we all expected. It was blue the whole time. Hi there. Simple answer. Simple question. Complex question. Still simple answer. How do I trim my beard? I have a buzzer thing. It's got those length makers on it. Numbered spacing things. So you put out like number 3 and it go all around and won't get shorter than a certain length. I got one of those things. And then I'll usually detail work with a pair of scissors that came with that thing, which are like actual hair scissors. If you do get real hair scissors, it's kind of important that you don't use them for things other than hair. I learned this in my days as a hairdresser's boyfriend. I learned quite a bit about hairdressing, actually. Didn't, not stuff I regret learning, but not stuff I ever thought I wanted to learn, really, but that's fine, Like how surprisingly challenging it is to mix a hair color for a woman that's exactly the hair color that she wants is quite the sciartance. It can be quite tricky, apparently. Because the hair color that comes out on your head is not going to be the color that you see on the box. Because it depends what color hair you have to start with. That's the cold, hard truth of the matter. Now, sure, you could bleach it first. to make the color set more. But you know that damages your hair. Are you trying to get split ends? Boy, Rachel and I type police someone today. That video is going up tomorrow. It's called Double Perps. That guy, I am quite sure, is not an ENFP. I don't know what he is, but ENFP male is his name. He's really into OP shit, you know. He was interviewing this woman, Yvonne. Oh, sure, maybe her name was Yvonne. I don't know. But it was spelled Yvonne. So, that's what I'm calling her. HLO to you too, Boba Fett. HLO is an acronym for Hello, Location, Oratory. It's a term that fills in for any greeting. You will be, Peter didn't teach you, because you know why? Because that's really something. Alright? It's not saying a lot, but it's saying a little. And by not saying much, it's really saying a lot. And that really says something. Well, today's Michael Simone type police video has elicited some response, not nearly as much as Melissa Talks did. Melissa Talks, I think, there was generally quite a bit of controversé. Le controversé. Because I think a lot of people questioned whether this Melissa Talks lady was an ENTP or not. We didn't throw her in the slammer out of an abundance of caution, I suppose, but in retrospect, I kind of wish we had. I mean, she definitely doesn't seem like an ENTP to me. Anyway, whatever, I don't care. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess you could say it matters in the sense that she's presenting herself as an ENTP and conveying to others that if they're an ENTP, they're going to present like she is. But, you know, she's not exactly misdescribing the type, per se. Although she gets a couple things wrong here and there. Like that ENFP dude, ENFP male, the one that's coming up tomorrow. I don't know. Rachel, that guy, that was hard to watch, right? But it is hard to watch for you as well as for me. I don't know. I've had it really hard to watch. Who has videos with his wife in them? ENFP male? Right. She doesn't really do much. Actually, she doesn't do any wordplay or. I don't know. There's not a lot of like creative. You know, like sun ejecta. Creative stuff. Not very much for me either right now, obviously. I'm kind of low energy, but I'm feeling pretty good because I got attended to several tasks I needed to get done today, and What type does he say is Ghost of Jung? Winston's mom, I'm curious. I appreciate the suggestions. I suspect Rachel and I will be doing more of these. Um, I mean, I might do a couple by myself too, but Ghost of Jung says he's INTJ. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. You know, once you get it set up, it's actually quite easy to do them if I don't edit them. You know, they'd come out a little bit better if I did edit them. I probably should, but yeah, it's always a matter of how much energy do I want to put into something, I guess. Of course, darling. Anytime that you're awake and out here, we'll do them together. You know. I think they probably play better if we do them together than they do be by myself. In general, you soften me, make me more likable. You play well on camera. You know. You're an excellent asset. Like people like my music better when you're singing with me. Videos tended to do better when I'm including you more. You know, I'm a bit of a space hog in terms of talking, but a lot of times you don't necessarily have a whole hell of a lot to say about things. Usually I'll have like one or two comments. So, well, there was this moment when we were making it last night, and I said, I found this really just hard to watch and not a pleasant experience to watch, and I could sort of feel Rachel tensing up as I said because I think she anticipated me saying something like, I just don't like this guy, which is kind of true, but I didn't. I said, because I just can't handle all the OP shit. You know, it's like, it's too much blasting and playing and sheeps and cops and robbers and God knows who else, you know. They've got so much nonsense in there, it's ridiculous. So, and then I could see her kind of relax a little bit. You know, it wasn't even like I was looking at her, you know? I think she and I have very nuanced FE about each other generally, although hers is obviously more nuanced than mine. But when I'm paying attention, yeah, I will. I'm going to use the police scare. I was thinking about that today, Winston's mom. I'll get a police station background, you know? But yeah, if I get it all set up properly in OBS, they're not difficult to make. And they're kind of interesting to make, kind of fun to make too, because it's like, you know, I don't know what I'm going to be seeing when I turn it on. It's not like, you know, we did preview that lady a bit, but it was almost by accident because I was going to take another approach to dealing with the thing, and then I realized it was just too difficult and dumb, so I did it a different way. Anywho, important things to say, because you know what? That is really something. It really is. Well, I wanted to share this important news with you. I've been enjoying River Monsters with Jeremy Wade. Oh, don't depress me, Mrs. Mom. I'm paying half attention to it. I'm aware of what's going on. I don't like it because it's all bad news and it makes me feel bad. And I wish I were president, but I'm not. And, you know, it's like, sanctions. You know, it's like, okay, get your fucking faces out of your ass. sanctions. I mean, why don't you just bend over and present your butthole to Putin? Here you go. It's the same thing as sanctions. Well, then, please don't represent the United States in negotiations or dealings with foreign policy matters, Fly Guy. If you like your face in your ass, then that's fine, but just please don't do that while representing the United States of America. Yeah, so Jeremy Wade goes to all these different places in the world to catch freshwater, big freshwater fish. And he catches some fucking big ass fish, just like huge fish, hundreds of pounds. And I always, I used to almost like the show, but it was just when I'd watch it on TV, it was like, okay, there's too much bullshit for in between the fishing scenes. I just want the fishing scenes where he's trying to catch the fish, and when he's flicking his line, and you're waiting for it, and then he's got it on, fish on, fish on. I just want those parts. So now that I have Discovery Plus, I've been going through and skipping all the boring talk to the locals parts and learn about their traditions and try to build suspense about this. It's like, okay, you don't need to convince me that the fish you're going to catch is a monster in order for me to be interested in watching this show. I get that's a big ass fucking fish. I can see it myself, You don't need to really play up the whole, is this a man-eater angle, which they always want to play up in that show. I don't care if it's a man-eater or not. I just want to see you catch a big-ass fish, okay? Let's just get to the chase. If I were editing those things, it'd be about 15 minutes long, at the longest, instead of an hour. But it's great with Discovery Plus. I just fast forward to the fishing parts, skip all the other parts. I'm through like 4 seasons in half a day or something. He does catch some fucking big ass fish. One of his best catches was the Goliath tigerfish in the Congo. Man, you want to talk about a big fish, but then he got effied into giving it to the village for them to eat. He wanted to put it back, But he got effied into it by the, when his like local guide guy heard he was gonna put it back, he was like, "What? You're gonna put that big ass fish back? This could feed the whole village." And he's just like, "Oh fuck." I guess I gotta give the village the fish. Their medicine man did magic for me and everything. See, that's the parts I normally skip. Is like, okay, I'm having trouble locating it. I think they're pretty honest about the timelines, but sometimes I think they mess around with them a little bit to make the thing they're looking for happen at the end, even though it didn't happen at the end of the actual trip. But and one of the very fun episodes was when he went noodling for giant catfish in Oklahoma. That was a fun one. Those people are nuts. They swim under the river to find these holes, and then they stick their hand in there until these giant fucking like 80-pound catfish grab onto their hand. They pull them out and pull them up out of the water like that. What? It's just, who invented that? I don't know, Waldner. I think he's probably an ESFP. That's what I think Putin is. But whatever, I don't know. I don't care. It's depressing. I don't want to talk about that. I'm talking about Jeremy Wade. You did that once, Adrian? Your armpits hurt? I bet. Well, you're getting a lot of yankage on your arm here, like yank, yank, yank. You're probably not accustomed to that particular musculature, exercise. Like today, I did something crazy that really worked some unused muscles. I walked someplace, and I could feel it in my legs. It's like, wow, what is this walking thing I'm doing? Rachel and I walked all the way to the racetrack to see if maybe there was. Instrumental supposed to be. I think he means by that tool function, so second slot. They bark, huh? Maybe they should be called dogfish then. Catfish really have very little in common with cats. For one thing, catfish live under the water, whereas cats live outside of the water. At least my cat does. Oh, instrumental is 6? Oh. Well, they do have things that look like whiskers. And they do serve the same purpose as whiskers. But they're not actually whiskers. Yeah, we walked to Santa Anita. It's not very far. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, it's a longer walk than it seems like. We just live just a couple of blocks away from the mall and the Santa Anita racetrack. But I don't know. It's like the scale of that area over there, the racetrack, is bigger than you think. That's the most common typing form, Fly Guide, but I have my doubts about it. So yeah, we walked over there only to discover that they don't actually run the ponies except for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That if we wanted to do off-track betting, they only do that on a Thursday. Well, I mean, they have it alongside the regular horse races on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I mean, as far as an off-track only day, it's just on Thursday. And today is Wednesday. So we walked over there for nothing just to find out that information, basically. And then we walked back home. No, we walked back home. We got a couple of good pictures. In fact, I have it. Let's look at them. Let's look at the pictures we got today. Put up a window capture. Yarr. It's a window capture. Oh my god. I'm a sheep. I'm a very good sheep. I'm the kind of sheep who likes to say peep, 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 peep. I'm a cheeping sheep. I'm a peeping heap of sheep. I'm mostly wool and feet, 'cause I'm a heaping peep of sheep. Oh, I didn't upload them yet? Alright, well, I'm just gonna have to upload them first. There's the problem I'm seeing here. 6 new massages. I don't want 6 new massages. Oh, Google Photos, why don't you just automatically upload them? Why do I have to open the app and tell you to do it every time? Or just open the app? I don't have to tell you to do it, I just have to open the app. How dumb is that? Very dumb. Does God Still Love Me? That's the title of this book I saw. Does God Still Love Me? The story of a lady who slept with Vishnu and wonders if Christian God will take her back. It's actually supposedly the unforgettable story of America's homeless kids, but I like my explanation of it better. That probably should go up as a short. Yeah, so I could have. Yeah, we could have Googled it. Yeah, thanks, Mrs. Mom. I know we could have Googled it. But we wanted to go for a walk, or I wanted to go for a walk, and I suggested it, and Rachel was down, and it was a beautiful day. It's partially why we went for a walk. Quite lovely, rather chilly. When we left the house, we actually overdressed. Well, it's not consciously or willfully doing that, Fly Guy. I mean, people who pray don't perceive themselves as talking to themselves in their own head. They perceive themselves as talking to an external God. So, your description of their subjective experience contradicts with their description of their subjective experience. Well, Spencer Jones, you certainly sound like an INTP when you write INTP here. I have a new favorite phrase for people when they are being intellectually dishonest by not acknowledging all the facts. Quote, committing disingenuous omission. You just call it disingemission. Just make it into a portmanteau. You know how you love portmanteaus. You've committed disingenuous omission. Which is to say, you know these facts contradict what you're saying, but you've not included it. Well, because the point is, the disingenuity comes from the fact that you know this relevant information is relevant and would change your calculus on the matter, but you've chosen to ignore including it in your calculus. So, for example, when Leaf Trimmer kept ignoring what I was saying about Bobby Brown and his name, and just kept just straight up behaving as though I had never said it, that was disingenuous omission. If he had just omitted things because he hadn't considered it, or because he didn't know it, right? Liar, why the complexity? What are you talking about? Who are you talking to, me? Well, there's a difference between, look, the point is this. When somebody makes a case, right? They're engaging with somebody else about that case. If points are made about that case, and then the other party's still ignoring those points, even though they've been stated, and behaving as though they don't affect the argument change at all, okay, the point is, there could be honest omission and dishonest omission, though, right? Walk was such a killer tune. Don't even talk to me about it. It's depressing. I mean, I think that the biggest problem, Spencer Jones, is when that occurs as part of the process of the discussion. In other words, when both parties are making points, but only one person's responding on point, then that's when it's especially frustrating. Because you know they heard you, you said the words, but they're acting as though you didn't, you know? Okay, so let's see. That didn't really come out very well. That came out pretty good. So I take a couple of pictures. No, I don't think I'd call that disingenuous omission, Fly Guy. I don't know exactly what I'd call that, except just straight up lying about whether you know about Pokemon, right? That's a little different. So here's one of the pictures I took. It's pretty nice. Santa Anita. Instant rapid results. Pick an adjective already, you know. Here's this little train station by our house, by the Arboretum. Here's another shot of it. And let's see what this one says.
It's a beautiful day at Santa Anita Park. Unfortunately, Rachel and I just discovered the horses aren't running until Friday.
So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Pretty exciting. No disputing that. You're still not over Gen X not listening to them for ethical reasons? Who? Pantera? Hi, Gen Xil. You were just being talked about. Hey, Eric, so what is the consensus on Hitler being an INFJ? What is he really? Is it plausible? Well, I've maintained that if he was on enough meth, yeah, it's plausible. But, you know, like Goebbels, he's the textbook ENFJ propaganda guy, you know. He's so ENFJ, he can barely get the E's and the N's and the F's and the J's out of him before he got more E's, N's, F's, and J's. Phil Anselmo. is. It must be somebody from Pantera, I guess. What do I think of the interaction styles? I mean, I don't remember what they all are, but I remember thinking at some point that it seemed like a not unreasonable way of taxonomying interaction styles, but it's not, it doesn't link that clearly to cognitive functions like C.S. Joseph wants it to. Well, he doesn't know what he's talking about, Vincent. So I wouldn't worry about what he says too much. He made quite the heartfelt apology later, too, Gen X. Huh? Hey, he's apologized for it. What do you think about that? Well, show media. I'm trying not to slam people that much, but if what you mean gets put in the slammer, well, you're not gonna have long to wait because we got one scheduled for tomorrow in which someone goes to the slammer. So, that ENFP male, his videos, his interviews, I find him unwatchable because he's just talking about such well, partially because there's just so much OP nonsense in there, but I don't know. It's like, what are you people talking about? Even when they weren't talking about OP nonsense. Yeah, I spoiled it a little bit for you, but it's like I kind of want to talk about it because it was like, yeah, I'm very picky about what I watch in general, so it's challenging for me to watch these people's videos, in part because, generally speaking, they aren't very good. Not saying that mine are great or anything. I'm not comparing them against me. I'm comparing them against the things that I want to watch, I guess. Yeah, I'm a double observer, full blast, half sleep crystal lizard, so the amount of nonsense in there. Well, look, the thing to remember at Gen X Heal is everybody's wrong in the same kind of evil way. So it's like your partisanship, your leftist sort of agenda stuff is just as evil. It's just not quite as recognizably so. I mean, I don't really have evil wrongnesses like that, but even I am guilty of it occasionally. When I shit on meow or meow or meow, it's the same thing. That's the key takeaway here, Gen X is you're making a big deal about it because it's race specific rather than something else. But any kind of groupism is the same thing fundamentally. Libertarians don't want don't really want no borders. I wouldn't call that technically a libertarian thing because, of course, sovereignty over stuff is central to the libertarian position, and a sovereign nation is sovereign in that it has legitimate control over its borders. Putin's right with you, though, Gen X. Putin is right with you. Fly Guy, why are you shitting on Spencer Jones? I appreciate what he just said. He falls asleep to my Jordan Peterson video. I love someone showing how dishonest, pseudo-intellectual that man truly is. He does not seek truth. Was Hitler and ENTJ gone mad? I mean, I think Hitler definitely had some sort of FENI going on, you know, to convince everybody to go along with his stuff. Although it could have just been sort of the native human attraction to the clarity of something like an ENTJ or something. I don't really know. I don't speak German, so I can't listen to the guy talk and draw conclusions about him, you know, based on what he says and how he says it and stuff like that. I just have his affect to go on. I've never read his book, although I'm sure it's great. You know, it was a different time. If you watch Benito Mussolini talk, you think, how could anybody what up, my Goebbels? You know, if you watch Mussolini talk, you think, how could any human being take that ridiculous, puffed up blowhard seriously? But back in the day, you know, that played differently than it does now. Well, Mac Daddy, we're discussing things that are really something. Right now, we're actually talking a little bit about Hitler's personality type. I mean, the thing to remember is that everybody has stupid ideas. Everybody's wrong about something, you know? Now, I agree. Wrongnesses that express explicitly as, like, really simplistic group hate are especially easy to critique, but they're not fundamentally any worse or better than any other kind of stupidity. Like, I mean, Jaxiel, do you reject everything made by a Muslim? I mean, because you should if you want to apply the same standard, right? It's not like the Muslim world treats women as though they were equals. So, are we going to condemn everything that comes out of the Muslim world? It's like I've been thinking about what somebody told me the other day. I don't remember in the context in which this was. Maybe they said it in the chat or something. No, but I'm saying the people, the Muslim people who make things in the world, are themselves perpetrators of an extraordinarily patriarchal oppression. So, do you reject everything that they make? Because they don't just preach it, they live it. So, I mean, if you're going to always link that which is created to he who creates it, then you better apply that evenly, right? You better check to make sure whatever you're listening to is made by somebody with exactly the right politics. Because it's like, and this is exactly why I play that song by Merle Haggard called Just a White Boy Looking for a Place to Do His Thing, or whatever it's called. Is it a racist song? Yes. And is it a good song? Yes. Okay, but you're not applying that standard to Pantera, are you? That's not the standard you're applying. Right? So my point is what? That you need to apply the same standard. If you're going to be politically sensitive about the art you consume, you better be checking everybody everybody who ever makes anything for political positions you find offensive. You know. Now, granted, like I said, straight up stupid, simple white power shit is really easy to point out and critique, but that doesn't make it less. It doesn't make it more unacceptable than actually perpetrating a patriarchal oppression on half of the population, as does the entire Muslim world, right? So do you reject everything that comes out of there creatively? No, I mean, the thing is, if you were truly intolerant of intolerance, then you would recognize that everybody has their own form of dumb shit, right? And you'd stop rejecting every creative product by everybody who made something that you don't agree with their politics. It's like the song that I play by Merle Haggard is a good song. The message of it is not a good message. But it doesn't matter, because there's lots of songs that I like that don't have good messages. Well, he and I are trotting upon each other's toes, I suppose. It's like, what's been making me think about this more is somebody asked Jerry Seinfeld if he still respected Cosby's comedic work now that he learned what a douchebag he was. And first Seinfeld said yes, and then after the commercial break he came back and said, I've been thinking about it more, and no, because he didn't think it would play well. Well, the fact is, I never liked Cosby's comedy, but the thing is, it's like, it seems a much more challenging question if you talk about that guy, what's his name, who showed his penis to those ladies by the plant or something. He's a comedian too. What's his name? He's very famous. Louis C.K. Yeah. I mean, Michael Jackson does have some good songs. Well, I mean, there's another thing. It's like, do we reject every movie that Harvey Weinstein ever produced? I mean, are you going to turn down every invitation to one of Jeffrey Epstein's parties? Probably that one, yeah. No, Vincent Mascat, that's just as fucking stupid. Just because somebody's successful doesn't mean they're bad, that they attain success unfairly, or that they don't they didn't earn their money, you know. Not everybody in power is evil. Blanket. Every time I think of Michael Jackson, I think of saying blanket. Well, I mean, you know, what song is what? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you saying which song is a good song by Michael Jackson? I would say Beat It's a pretty good song. I'd say Billie Jean's a pretty good song. Okay, please, guys, let's not, yeah, okay. It's just, these things are unpleasant to look at. Whose song? Oh, it wasn't. It was misinterpreted entirely. There's nothing rapey about it at all. No, I don't know that song, Dig a Pony. Someone would have to sing it. With Slash? I don't know. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who I think I am the one, but the kid is not my son. We believe you, Michael Jackson. We believe you, but the kid is not your son. I'm surprised she chose to accuse you of all people. You know? Are there any thriller movies that you like? Are you into the thriller genre? Not especially, but I did watch this thing on Netflix called Meow Meow Cherry Avenue. I watched like 2 of those. Those were slasher movies that were pretty good, that I enjoyed rather. Is Mac Daddy a smooth criminal? Maybe. A better question is Mac Daddy a smooth operator? Does Mac Daddy go coast to coast LA to Chicago? Well, what I'm specifically saying, though, Gen X Hill, is don't conflate a person's work with their person. It's fine to judge that person and say, I wouldn't want to be friends with you. You're too hateful. I disagree with your whole frame of reference or whatever. That's fine. But that has nothing to do with the things that they make. The things they make have identity independent of themselves. So it's like, Francis Scott Key, who wrote Oh Say Can You See by the Dawn's Early Light, I don't know anything about the guy. Does that mean that I shouldn't yet have any opinion about whether or not the national anthem has good lyrics or something? You know, it's just weird to consider those things. Is the Constitution less viable, meaningful, or meow or whatever because it was written primarily by Thomas Jefferson, a slave owner? I mean, I don't think so. That might be a way that you could, I guess, critique it. What's happening? Did my stream crash? Hi.
Hi.
No, I guess it didn't
Oh, you're
crash.
going to be starting it?
Oh, did it crash? No, I guess it didn't crash. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's Google Docs crashed.
Oh.
And so I don't know. Okay, cool. Um Okay, well there you got a point, Genexial, and that's a good reason to critique his shows, okay? So it is, as Lijo said, if you order lobster, you don't want a scoop of ice cream on top of it. You don't care that it's extra and free, right? So you have an excellent point there. But I'd say that's a very good reason to critique their shows, not to critique their albums or their music per se. There are plenty of good reasons, however, to critique Pantera's music. It is very shitty, don't get me wrong. But that's not why. Well, the thing is, Fly Guy, it may be the case that a person's character will, quote unquote, definitely flavor the work. But that doesn't mean that like, in my opinion, Michelle Shocked is definitely not a person of good character. And her total abuse of copyright law to shit on everybody who even references her hardly, you know? And yet, I can't take away the fact that she made some really good songs, you know? That would be doing something or someone a disservice. It would be doing us all a disservice. It would be denying us access to good songs because we don't like the person who wrote them. And that would be sad. And sadness is bad. And instead, we should have gladness. This seems to have crashed, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's a crazy topsy-turvy world that makes no sense. It's the kind of place in which everybody goes crazy constantly and nobody knows what they're doing. Like school. Well, it appears I still haven't crashed. I don't know what's going on here. It's a mystery. What's going on? Why does it keep saying that? Not enough memory to open this page. What if I were to tell you your suck-ass face doesn't have enough memory to open this page? Maybe I should close some shit? Okay, fine, I'll close some shit. Discard changes. Now let me close this. Discard. Now what else is open? I could close this. No, don't save project. I could close this. No, don't save project. There. Now I'm really cooking with cheese, as they say. In the ad biz. My PC did not go down, although it seems to be clunking along at the moment. It's not, hopefully it's not Putin, Jinping, Jong-un. But regardless, it seems to have been fixed at the moment. So, we're okay, we're gonna live. Fly Guy. See, now that's not helpful, is it? Fly Guy says, I don't know if my favorite song was written by a pedo or a Democrat or something. Okay, well, you had good reason to panic. You had good reason to panic. Because if you weren't panicking for a moment, you weren't caring enough about the fact that that's really something. This is really something we got going on here, okay? This is the beginning of something big. This is going to turn into a Broadway play. It's all about all of us. And we're living together in a rent-free apartment in New York City under the scrutiny of cameras on a reality TV show called Living Together in New York City. That's really something, isn't it? Yeah, I won't tell anyone not to listen. I just choose not to for my principled reasons. Yeah, okay, fine. I get you. I mean, look, Genexio, what's a much worse reality than you not liking Pantera for being white power is the fact that you purposely chose to go to a Pantera concert in the first place. So, really, the problem way precedes Pantera. I'm sorry to hate on Pantera and your taste in music. Like that wonderfully pleasant guy I talked to, that ESTP guy, our conversation was going great. And then he revealed how much he liked Tool. And I was like, right on. Okay. Why are you... Hey, listen. I'm already picking on Genexio. You don't need to pile on, Boba Fett. Don't be an on-piler. Okay, let me ask Genexio this question. Which is best? Anthrax, Megadeth, or Metallica? Which is best? Anthrax, Megadeth, or Metallica? Anybody else who has an opinion on this can chime in as well. Again, I'll offer the questions: Megadeth, Metallica, or Anthrax? Okay, it was a trick question. They're all fucking garbage. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Los Angeles. I don't know. I couldn't think of a... I was trying to think of another one. Metallica's not pretty good. Come on. Slayer. Ugh. Like what? Enter Sandman? That's their best song and it's not even very good. You know? Fair enough, Jeremiah. Fair enough. Jeremiah's right. Okay, let's just concede to Jeremiah that Eric, you don't like metal music. That's fine. But why do you want to start this garbage fire? And the answer is, I don't know. And I appreciate you asking the question to draw my attention to the fact that I seem to be starting it. I think that's a good poll question, though. Which is best? Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, or Slayer? I'm going to put it up as a poll question. We'll find out what other people think, okay? I bet people will answer that poll question, too. Not every poll question gets as much attention as some other poll questions, you know? Sometimes I'm quite confident in a poll question and it gets like no love from the ladies. 6 Erics in a car? Are you crazy? Yeah, but don't oh snap. I don't like aw snap. Stop that. It's dumb. Okay. Which metal band? I'll put classic metal band maybe. Classic metal band is best? Question mark. Megadeth. Metallica. Slayer. Who else should I put? Who else should I put on this list? That's the question. I could put Pantera down there. Okay, Pantera. See, the reason I don't want to put Anthrax is I'm afraid that Anthrax is going to be like YouTube flag raising or something, the word. So I think I'm going to put Pantera instead. Is that not how you spell Pantera? I guess they don't have Pantera as a word. They got Metallica and Megadeth as a word. Shows you what Google thinks of Pantera. Guns N' Roses, that's unfair. That's not the same kind of thing, really. Post. Alright, I gotta turn down the resolution on my camera. It's a little overloady, unfortunately. I'm going down to 1280 by 720, you guys. We're going on a regular high definition. Oh, now you can barely see anything. But you're gonna love how we make you look at the Men's Warehouse. I do. I love how you make me look. You make me look so very, very beautiful. I do, don't I? That's because I'm that guy who owns the Men's Warehouse.